Hi, it's me, your Uncle Simon. Just take a moment to look at this beautiful weather that we're having here in the Northwest. I was thinking, why did I let myself into this? Why did I say yes to the Power Quest ranking? Well, mainly because I really, really love Power Quest. That's why. So they never sold any records, except to me. Um, they never broke any records. But I love them. I wholeheartedly love Power Quest. I'm going to explain to you, hopefully, why that is and how you can get into this great band that sadly no longer exists. Okay, so Power Quest were formed in Southampton in 2001. The key and only constant member is the songwriter and keyboard player Steve Williams, who's a lovely man. I've met him and had email correspondence with him and other correspondence. Sam Topman of Dragon Force was in there he was the one of the first of the roughly 25,000 guitarists the band has had. Um, Vocalist Alessio Garavello arrived in 2002, and he's probably the vocalist that's most associated with the band, and he has a voice that's well, when you play a Power Clash record, sometimes your dogs hide in the corner. That's high pitched. Um, he was later followed by Somapala for the Blood Alliance album, and ultimately Ashley Edison of Dendera fame ended up in the vocal chair. Um, the band had a 3-year hiatus between 2013 and 2016 before coming back and releasing Six Dimension before splitting permanently in 2023 when they couldn't sell enough tickets for their farewell tour, which is absolute tragedy, to be brutally honest. There's 6 albums for us to discuss and an EP. Let's go with the EP first, shall we? So the EP is Face the Raven, which has got Face the Raven, Coming Home, Sacred Land Part 2, and a reworking of Blood Alliance. It's really good. Um, I I like this so much. I took my Face the Raven t-shirt and wore it on the Great Wall of China and was very pleased with myself. 3 good tracks. The reworking of Blood Alliance is very, very good indeed. And it preceded what ended up being their final album. And as you can see, you know, they've got their act together with In Leather at that point. As you're going to find out, throughout their career, they didn't exactly dressed the part, shall we say. But they made some fantastic records. Um, I when I actually said I was going to do this, I texted my eldest son, who's also a fan, and said, "Hey, I'm going to do a Power Class ranking." And his response was, "All number one," and that's a very good point from child number one. They're all excellent, excellent records. They really are. And I had a great deal of difficulty putting them into some kind of order. Um, But I've made the effort. Okay, so coming in at number 6 is 2011's Blood Alliance, which is on the Napalm record label. It's important to think what record label Power Quest are on because um, it changed a lot. They were on quite a few different record labels and said that they only made 6 albums. What I'm going to do throughout this for each album, I'm going to try and give you at least 3 songs that I think you should listen to in order to get a flavour of both the band and the album. So this is the album with Chichi Samapala on vocals. He left after about 17 months, saying, "I really need to earn some money because all Power Quest money was plowed back into the band, and also Power Metal is dead." Yes. Oh, there you go. Right. Okay. The 3 songs from this album, when the band looked remarkably like that. There's Mr. Summer Power on the end. Main man Steve Williams in the middle. Key songs from this album are City of Lies, which is super catchy, and it has a lovely little nod towards Power Quest, the song at the end, and it's really nice. And that kind of like motif appears throughout their albums. Um, Glorious is a really good vocal from Chitty Samopala. It's his best on the album, I think, and it's got a great guitar hook as well, as indeed has Only in My Dreams. Crunching the numbers, um, you may sometimes hear that Power Quest are a cheesy, um, super happy power metal, a bit like, say, Freedom Call. And very often they are, but very often Steve Williams writing delves into real life sensibilities and thoughts. Crunching the numbers opens with the following: fell on harder times than we had known before, heading for tomorrow, full of fear, unemployment riding high, country on its knees, heading for disaster, so it seems. So not exactly firing up the Rufflecopter on that one, but this is as I said, their heaviest album, their least cheesy album. I've shown this before on the UK Connection. For fans of Dragon Force and Hammerfire, no, no. Some of Power Quest output does indeed sound a little bit like Dragon Force, and there's a reason for that, as I'll come to later. But no, no, definitely not Hammerfall. There's no Crusaders. There's nothing like no Templars. No nothing. They Power Quest sound like Power Quest to me. Okay. Um, Coming in at number five, just realized I've turned to Brandon Schneider. Coming in at number five is Magic Never Dies. All the top five absolutely could have been number one and were at some points in my reckoning. Magic Never Dies is a great album, really good record. It's the record where they went on the Pagan Quest tour with Pagan's Mind. What a double bill that was in 2006. Really excellent bill. I saw them at Bradford Reels with Child Number One, and got lost like I always do on my way to Bradford Reels. And what a tremendous night of metal and power metal and progressive metal that really was. Got bound to sign all my stuff, so now I feel like Martin Popov. This is really upbeat record. It's a Carl Groom production. Carl Groom, of course, of Threshold. And somewhere on every um, Power Crest album, there's a really commercial song, a bit like 10. 10 always have an ultra commercial song on every album. Not that they ever sell very many albums, but there's always one really super catchy song. And this one is Children of the Dream, which is so commercial and such a great song. And once you just weaves its way into your brain and won't leave for a couple of days. The message is a ballad. Really good ballad. Power Quest could do a ballad, and this is where Alessio Garavello's produces his most affecting vocal. Saying you left me for another guy, he sings, and it's just so plaintive. It really is, you know. And do you know why she left him for another guy? Because he was always on the road. Lesson to be learned there if you're a truck driver. Magic Never Dies concludes the album, and Power Quest always finish off their albums with some really good stuff. This is a really upbeat, um, excellent power metal album, but to me never strays into the realm of cheese, unlike much power metal. Number four. Such a difficult choice. Was debut Wings of Forever from 2002, which is on the Underground Symphony record label out of Italy. I don't own anything else on that record label and don't know of anything else that's on it. The band at this point was Steve Scott, who was on quite a few albums playing bass. Dr. Adam Bickers, who didn't last very long. Alessio Garavella, Sam Tolkman on guitar, and obviously Steve Williams on keyboards. Now, what do we notice about Sam Tolkman here, kids? What do we notice? There and there. He's not wearing a hat. I know. That's good, isn't it? So, Wings of Forever is I think Amazon said a middling um, um, debut album. I think it's a great debut album. No, not one of the greatest of all time, but no, it's a really good debut album. Wings of Forever is just a glorious, glorious song, full of happiness and happiness and joy. It makes me just really makes your day when you hear it. So catchy. As it Power Quest Part One. Hmm. Um, just a beautiful, beautiful song. And then the song Far Away, which is the one that I absolutely recommend from this album, is just the most catchy tune ever. It's just too catchy, if anything, you know. And this is the song on this particular album where Alessio Garavella really goes for it. Yeah, I can't do that because the neighbors are out, but nonetheless, it's just a fantastic effort. It really is. There's so much guitar work on this, and occasionally, and in a massive surprise, sounds a bit like Dragon Force. I will give you that on this particular album. Oh, it's got one of Dragon Force's guitarists on it. That may well be why. So yeah, this could have been number one as well. It's a really, really solid record. Um, and if you watch Stephen Reed, you're going to notice that the logo never changes. Yep, which is a good thing if you're into that sort of thing. Number three, Master of Illusion. I've got a version of this album, um, which has Steve Williams saying in about seven of the songs partway through, "You are listening to Master of Illusion, the new album from Power Quest." And I can't listen to the version that doesn't have that on, which is really quite weird. But it's some really, really good songs on this one. And also, um, I reviewed this when I was before I joined See the Tranquility, and got an email back from Steve Williams thanking me. And most rock stars aren't like that. Most rock stars just don't care about us small people. Anyhow, um, the ultra catchy song on this is "I Don't Believe in Friends Forever," which has a lovely reference to Judas. It's not just unicorns and stuff in Power Quest world. Such a catchy, catchy song. Don't believe in friends forever. 30 pieces of silver. It's over now. Yep. The opening triumvirates of Cemetery Gates, Human Machine and Civilized are all absolutely tremendous. Really, really great opening three songs. This I think is the album where Alessio Garavella is his absolute most commanding. I think it's his peak. His peak here. It really is. Sounds great. It's powerful opening, great guitars, and isn't quite as keyboard heavy as every other song in the catalog. Yep, and Human Machine is arguably even better, the best of the opening triumvirates. Again, great vocals, really good, really, really good vocals. And Civilized as well which is track three, is absolutely fantastic. Really, really solid record, a really good 4.25 out of five. And ultimately, we've got the Sixth Dimension, the final record, which came out in 2017. I genuinely can't believe how long ago this was. It came out on the record Inner Wound recordings. I actually got it from Steve Williams, who posted it to my house when he wasn't on tour. So this has got Ashley Edison from Dendera and Tiger Tails on vocals, produced, interestingly, by Alessio Garavella. Side one is absolutely flawless. I listened to it earlier today, walking the dogs. Utterly flawless. It's an absolute masterclass of melodic power metal. And again, not all about unicorns and stuff like that. Get that out of your mind if that's what you're thinking, if that's what you've heard. No More Heroes, for instance, tackles climate change, which kids is a thing. Yeah, just saying. Um, Side one brings out more of the woes than the Power Quest have ever done. They never really gone for the whole whoa kind of thing, but they do on like quite a few tracks on side one, and it just makes it like a little bit even more melodic and fun than they normally are. But that said, on side two, Revolution Fighters is also excellent. Pray for the Day is about friendship, loss, but in a power metal style. You can't feel sad when you're doing things in a power metal style. It just can't be done. And coming home, Sacred Land Part Two has Queenish guitars in places, and yet also kind of reverts to Dragon Forcey kind of guitars as well. And sometimes the keyboards on this album sound a bit like they're going to do some Irish dancing. There's that kind of level of jolliness and happiness. On the record. But number one, Power Quest album has to be Neverworld, which weirdly enough is on Frontiers. Hmm. Now, Power Quest are very, very melodic. It's from 2004, and my notes, it just everyone's a winner. They really are. This is a great record. Really, really great record. Um, Neverworld itself is fantastic. Temple of Fire is so, so good. It's another one of those songs where Mr. Garavello really pulls out the high notes. Really, really do. Sacred Land is fantastic. When I'm Gone is great. Sometimes I weigh up, what would I like at my funeral? And that's always in the mix, but it's a little bit probably too on the nose. When I'm gone, the world carries on, and you must carry on too. No, I don't believe that. I think the world should stop when I pop my clogs. But Power Quest don't. Well of Souls, Interlight, and Lost Without You finishes the album off. So well. Um, is there a picture of the band in this? No idea if there is. So really should have prepared that a little bit. There's not. So, but lots and lots of older lyrics. Whatever you say about Power Quest, all the packaging was really, um, really good. They never scrimped. They never saved on that kind of thing. So, yes, Power Quest, very much one of my favorite bands. Um, really sad that they never made it. Really sad that they no longer exist. Disappointed by that. But they have left behind some really excellent albums, and there would be on an EP, Base the Raven EP, Blood Alliance, which it is some apart. I just like saying that. Magic Never Dies, Master of Illusion, Wings of Forever, Never Neverworld. Everyone is a winner. Um, Yep, that's Power Quest. So thanks very much for watching, and I'll be back soon.